Well, hello there.
Hello, sir. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was awesome. Good weather here in
Yeah,
Chicago. Kind of rare these days. So wonderful weather. Saw some friends. It was great. How about you?
that's awesome. My weekend was okay. I'm out there in the dating world, so it's a little different.
Hmm.
I'm not necessarily loving it, but it's okay. It's okay. And you know what? The one thing we're actually really worried about in Tampa Bay today is that the where we have a storm coming right at us. So
Oh yeah.
we're hoping to not get hit. Last year we got very fortunate. Well, we got fortunate. People to our south were less fortunate. And I definitely don't want to wish any harm on anyone. So my hope is
Correct.
that wherever this makes landfall, it doesn't cause any significant damage.
Yeah,
But right as it looks like it's coming pretty much right at us again. So wish us well, PJ, because I
I
may not
I
even have
do.
power for the rest of the week to do
Okay.
any more of these podcast interviews we've got scheduled. So
Oh geez. All right. Well, I wish everyone in the greater Tampa Bay area well, actually the entire west coast of Florida. How about this US? I wish everyone in the US
how
well.
about everyone worldwide?
How about everyone
Actually, this
worldwide?
this this interview is a perfect interview to wish people well, regardless of where they are. What do you think?
Absolutely. You know what? Let's also include the aliens that apparently are,
Why not? Why not?
visiting us all the
I'm
time.
all for that. I think they've been visiting us for a long time. I think they're among us, and that's going to be for a future episode of Braving Business Alien Edition.
Yeah. The subtitle would be I think I was abducted. All right.
Nice.
So today we have, of course, the wonderful and one of the most courageous women that we've ever had an opportunity to meet. Her name is Sakshi Srivastava. And at the age of 19, and we're going to do a deep dive in all of this, but here's why she's incredibly fascinating. At the age of 19, Sakshi started losing her vision, and today, legally blind. But remarkably, for reasons we'll delve into in this interview, she still considers herself privileged, and her life goal is to use that privilege and her entrepreneurial spirit to empower disadvantaged communities. So incredible. She's a serial social entrepreneur who in 2015 co-founded a nonprofit in India called Bucket List, aiming to give disadvantaged children their own genie, which we're going to get into. More recently, Sakshi and her husband Hersh, along with, she would like you to know, their 5-year-old husky, are building a wearable device AI company called Shunya, a name that has remarkable rationale behind it, as well as the vision behind it. And Tal and I cannot wait for you all to hear about this. But for now, let's meet this driven and brilliant young woman, Sakshi. First of all, a role model that you are making lemonade out of lemons, for sure. It's an honor for us to have you on the Braving Business podcast.
It's my honor entirely. Thank you for having me, Tal and PJ. I in advance, I'd like to apologize for the tearing up. Visual impairment has a brain of its own. So I'm not actually crying, in case anybody is thinking that. It's just watery. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Don't make me
It's
cry. Don't make me.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
well,
try
and
my
I'm a
best.
crier. I cry very
Ah.
easily, so there will be some crying. But that's how it goes.
Also, Tal, I
I'm
do believe
uh
aliens exist as well.
You
So
do. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
looking forward to that episode you'll be doing.
not
So.
only PJ, we have our guest for that episode apparently.
Well,
I'd love to. Oh, so
a third
excited.
co-host. We just need to find an alien who can speak a language we
Yeah,
understand that can be on the show.
hopefully soon.
So Sakshi, I'm excited to have you here today, and I'm delighted for our audience to get to meet you because what you're doing is just incredible. Not only what you've done
Thank
so
you.
far in your life, but what your mission with this company. You have this vision of helping people who are visually impaired walk independently and safely. That's what Shunya is about. The technology, which by the way is not vaporware. This actually exists. You guys have built it.
Yes,
Leverages AI and sensors to provide mobility navigation to the blind with the objective of helping them not only find their way around, but also identify and interact with objects and people, which I got to say kind of sounds like Tesla's self-driving technology for humans. But I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss, I'm going to say that again, and you'll have a chance to talk about it later in the program, but you and your husband, Hersh, who by the way is a PhD, you're looking for allies, you're looking for partners and investors to help move this mission forward. And so if anyone is interested in being connected to Sakshi, you can reach us at www.bravingbusiness.com, and we'll be happy to connect you to Sakshi after the call. But let's get started with your journey. In 2015, you co-founded a nonprofit in India called Bucket List. Today, there are 30 people which work with underprivileged children on and around the streets of the capital city.
Yes.
And since 2022, you're now a volunteer in this space. So I'd love to understand, what motivated you? What called you to start your entrepreneurial journey, of all places, where you did, with essentially servicing maybe the most vulnerable and disadvantaged community, certainly in India, and probably among the most disadvantaged and vulnerable communities in the world.
Yeah. Okay, so 2015 I started. I honestly did not have a plan to become an entrepreneur. I was working as a writer with a couple of companies for expats as well as local companies. So it was not planned at all. What took me to it was just an experience where me and my friends were hanging out at a place near a corporate space in Delhi, the capital city, and we just started speaking to a couple of kids. They were essentially rat pickers, and they were picking the trash over there. And they were just tiny kids. They were like 4 years to 12 years, anywhere in between that age. And so one of the friends who I was hanging out with, she is a social worker, like by education, by her profession. And she wanted to start the organization. We were there, we got talking, and at the time, I did not know what I would do, honestly, but I knew I had to do it. I just
How old were you in 2015, Sakshi? How old were you in 2015?
I was 24. I was 24. I had to do some maths there. So I was 24. And
what did you do at 24, PJ? I don't think you started a nonprofit to help disadvantaged children in 24.
Geez, my God, that's so long ago. I was working for the national airline of Italy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's interesting.
Italian airline, as we used to call it. Alitalia.
Alitalia, of course. I've flown that airline. All right, Sakshi, sorry to have interrupted you. Keep going.
Not at all.
Your story is much more interesting than
No, not at all. I think everybody's story is very interesting if told the right way at the right time by the right
There
people.
you go.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, we got talking. I knew I had to do it. I quit my job. I started as building all of the content for the organization, and of course I was always on the ground. Slowly I learned. I'm a big believer in learning continuously. I don't so much believe in degrees. I believe if anybody is up for learning anything, you'll find the content, you'll find a way. Maybe not the stamp and the degree of the big universities, but you'll have the learning for sure. So I learned my way through it, through social work, through social entrepreneurship, through child psychology, and all sorts of things required for it. We developed whatever was required, and I jumped right into it. I was a full-time co-founder and operations head for 7 years before I switched to volunteering position. And then again, did not plan to get into entrepreneurship. So I'm a very passion-driven person, right? I don't do things. I learned early on that if I do things which my heart is not into, I will not succeed, right? So yeah, I did not plan to become an entrepreneur one more time, but my husband, who you mentioned earlier, and the founder of Shoon-ya, he came up with this brilliant idea, and I was instantly hooked. I knew I had to do it. So with his motivation, his brains, his experience, and my experience put together, this is where I am. So once again, I'm an entrepreneur. First time it was a nonprofit. Now I intend to build a successful company in US. So yeah.
That is amazing. I love the accidental entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's
really,
perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Because what it means is that you are purpose and passion driven, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out, how do I make this better? How can I leverage this or take advantage of a miscue here, or whatever the case is.
Right.
Many reasons why you want to be an entrepreneur, why you want to start something. But I always think that the accidental entrepreneur is the one who's like, just like you're saying, never really thought about being an entrepreneur. Wasn't a huge goal of mine, but all of a sudden here I am because I believe in this.
Yes, I believe in the problem statement. I know it exists. I'm living it. I have endless number of friends who are living it. I've done my research. We've done a primary survey. I've done everything to ensure that the problem is there and there are not enough solutions. And I feel the more I get into it, the more passionate we get about it. There's no turning back, right? It has to happen. If we don't do it, who would, right? We can't keep waiting for solutions to just pop up someday if somebody else thinks of it. We got to do it today, right now. So
Yeah,
well,
whatever it takes.
Let's talk about the journey you've traveled. So in 2015, when you started Bucket List, you still had your vision. I think you needed I believe a magnifying glass to read, but you were able to read.
Yes, I started losing my vision at 19.
Yeah.
So and my vision loss comes in episodes. So every few years it would go further down. There would be an episode stretching like a week or a couple of weeks. And by the end of it, I've lost some more of my vision. And, I'm one step closer to complete blindness. And I've had 3 of those episodes so far. In my knowledge, in fact, as a child, I did have an episode as well. That's what my doctors assumed, because my field of vision was reduced by 19 already. I just hadn't caught it. So in my conscious memory, I started losing my vision at 19. Another episode happened at 25, which was the tough space. I started Bucket List at 24, and within a year, my biggest episode happened. And it was crazy. I was, before 19, I was perfectly fine. I was reading books. I'm a big reader. After that, I was into magnifying glasses. I would zoom in a lot. Most of the things I wouldn't even read because I wasn't introduced to assistive technology yet. I was still trying to chase that version of myself of being fully sighted. At 25, when I had my biggest and second episode, I think that was the biggest one. And that was really challenging because that was when I went from magnifying glasses to not being able to see at all because it all went really hazy. So that's when I got into assistive technology, and somehow, Bucket List really needed me at the time, right? We were really young. We were just starting off. We all had our, chores cut out for us, what we had to do, what we must do to reach the point where we want to be. And to have that kind of breakdown in the middle of that phase, it was crazy. But I will be honest, the fact that I'm passion driven, it actually got me through it because my heart was into Bucket List and I couldn't let it go. It took me a week to mentally get myself in that space. And once I did, I think I remember writing a long email to my co-founders, and I told them I'm going through this. I'm going to need 30 days, like a complete off. I'm going to get myself back up. The things I'm not able to read, I'll find a way to read. I'll find a way to get through documents. I'll find a way to type again. I'll find a way to have my food by myself, and a lot of that stuff. I did that and I got through it somehow in a month. And my target was within a year, I'll be fully independent one more time. And I did that again. So I think
I don't know if you heard that sound, but that was actually the emergency management system.
No, it didn't get through, but yeah.
You did not? Okay. Well, wow. I heard it loud and clear in my ears. It has to do with the fact that we're in Tampa Bay, which is, as we speak, facing a pretty bad storm. I'm glad you guys didn't hear it. I was, PJ knows this about me, actually, Sakshi. I have suffered from a hearing loss in one of my ears almost my entire life. And actually 3 weeks ago, I had it repaired. It was a birth defect. 3 weeks ago, I had it repaired. And it's amazing. Other than, yes, it is working. It's working too well. The first few weeks after surgery, I'm told the degree of sensitivity in the ear is incredible. And so literally I'm hearing ringing in my ears now. I apologize for interrupting you.
No, it's absolutely fine.
I thought everyone could hear the same thing I could hear, which was a very loud beep. Okay.
I'm surprised. I'm in Tampa too. I didn't get that notification.
Your phone's probably on mute, which I forgot to do before I started the interview. So there you go.
So Sakshi, I have a couple of questions for you, but first, if you don't mind, take us back a little bit. So just because I'm unaware of what you've gone through from a vision loss perspective. Was it something genetic? Was it a disease? Is it like a tumor?
There we go. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Your phone's wrong.
Guys.
Are you getting the same thing I got? There you go. Yeah. The emergency broadcast system is telling us to run, I think. We'll do it right after the interview. Don't go yet. Let's finish the interview first. Then you and I are both getting in our cars, getting the hell out of Dodge.
Done. Absolutely. All right. Yes, PJ, you were saying.
I'm sorry. So what was, at 19, that is kind of like a shocking age, right? I have children who are teens, young adults. So to think, one of my children may lose their sight at 19 is horrifying, right? It's very scary. So what caused that to happen to you?
Nobody knows. So my doctors in India assume it's an autoimmune condition. It's all assumption based on elimination process. So millions of tests, probably, or thousands at least. And we don't know exactly. Indian doctors think it's an autoimmune condition. The American doctors thought initially it might be genetic. They ran the test, but it was inconclusive. So yeah, nobody knows why it happens and how it happens. And honestly, at this point, it's gone so bad, they're not even able to detect any difference. Like, it's already pretty bad, right? So how do they know if it's gone worse? No, we don't know.
Okay. And I'm sorry about that. Not knowing, it's got to be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah,
when you said you have an episode, is it like a migraine? Is it
No, that's the frustrating part. A lot of times I lose a lot of my vision just because I'm not able to assess that I'm losing it, because there's no physical sign. What I have to keep doing over the years is I keep checking my vision every few weeks, and I checking how much am I able to see, what's the area, what's the level of haziness. If it's changing, then I rush to the doctor. They put me on steroids. I've been on steroids and medications for like over nearly 2 decades now. So yeah, there's hardly any tell either. So yeah, I've basically accepted it's gonna happen. So sooner or later, it's fine. It's gonna happen.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And to highlight this, the statistic is that there's 2.2 billion visually impaired people in the world. So I'm assuming that's from just light eyeglass wearers all the way to
surprisingly, I am not. Those statistics don't include correctable vision things. So
wow.
Yeah, they are moderate to severe. There's this term MSVI, moderate to severe visual impairment plus blindness. So 2.2 billion is primarily that. And
I believe you told us in the pre-interview that that's a number that's supposed to double.
It's supposed to double in, so blindness is supposed to double in 25 years, and visual impairment, MSVI, is gonna triple in 25 years. Those are the statistics. However you see it, good way, bad way, the market is gonna boom, right?
Yeah.
You might, however you might feel about it, it's mixed feelings, of course, but yeah, the market is gonna shoot.
So then, Shunya, this company that you're creating, is absolutely one of the best targeted things then.
Absolutely. And it's the perfect timing. There's not enough assistive technology. There's barely any assistive technology out there. There are no big companies investing their money and resources in it. However, all the ones who have made it, they are billion-dollar companies right now. So $1 million, sorry. I think the biggest shareholder had a revenue of 10 million in 2020. So the space is going to shoot. It's just the timing. Right now, we are in the nascent stage of assistive market. And yet it's already a 8.3 billion market in US alone. So,
jeez. And you had mentioned, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tal.
No, that's fine. I want to maybe dive into Shunya, the story behind the name. So it's a really fascinating name. I had to read up on it because, at first when I saw the name, and it's actually spelled with a silent K.
Yeah.
So I was saying it all wrong. And then you told me what the name was, and you told me a bit about the name. And then I went and did some reading about the name, and I was blown away by the rationale behind the name. can you tell the audience what the
I
name
appreciate
Shunya
the
means?
effort. And
Yeah.
yes, of course. So Shunya is the Sanskrit word for zero, literally speaking. And philosophically, it essentially means everything that encompasses everything else. So as you would know, 90% of an atom is empty space, right? So
I wouldn't know that. That's very kind of you to think I would, but I would not know that at all. PJ, would you know that?
I was nodding like I did know it, but no,
Yeah, no, I didn't know it at all. I mean, not even
Oh,
a little.
God.
My son would know
I guess
it, I'm
it's
sure,
the
but I
PhD
didn't.
husband thing. That's
There
why
you
I know.
go.
Probably I wouldn't know either. So
It's very, I mean, I feel honored that you assumed that I would know that, but I don't.
yeah, I mean, it's not my fault. I don't take any credit for that at all, or any blame for it.
But as you were
So
saying, and as we all know, 90% of an
That's
atom
what-
is
of course.
empty
yes,
space, right?
I
it's
love that.
Please tell
actually
us more.
space. So we want
Enlighten our
to
audience, since PJ and I, of course, know this.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
I have a tattoo of it on my back. Please.
yeah, of course. So all right. So we essentially want to be that obvious. You know, assistive technology doesn't have to be a privilege. It needs to be a right. There is enough and imagine 2.2 billion is just visual impairment, right? There are so many other types of disabilities out there. It's all around you. And yet, do you see disabled people around you walking on the streets, just like a part of the regular society? No, they don't. Not enough of us do. We are so damn scared to get out of our comfort zone because the world out there is scary and it's dangerous, and it's not accessible. It's not worth the amount of effort we have to put in to kind of navigate the world that's made for sighted people, right? So assistive technology needs to be that obvious, that disability should not be such a what would I call it, like such a curse, you know? It shouldn't be a curse. Like, oh, I remember when I started losing my vision, my parents, as this I'm sure you can imagine, they were losing their shit, you know? Of course, we were all trying to be really strong for the other person, but I knew they were losing their shit. I lost my shit at some point. Am I allowed to use?
Of course you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the word.
Too late now.
It's a podcast.
Totally
No,
fine.
no,
Okay.
you're fine.
Okay, right. I realized that belatedly.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, we were losing our mind entirely.
Your collective shit.
Yes, our collective shit. We
Everyone's
were
shit's
losing
everywhere.
it. Yeah, I mean, my mother's primary concern was, I just hope she can retain enough vision so that when she's having her periods, she's able to manage herself. That was the bare minimum concern. Like, it was crazy. She had already given up. Like, not that she should have a job or she should be able to like get out there, get her own money, and none of that. You know, we'll take care of her. But poor thing, she's going through this. At least she should be able to survive, right? It's a curse in today's world, and it's not about India. It's everywhere. So disability should not be a curse. We all have it. I mean, we all have it. For some of us, it's physical. For some of us, it's visible. For most of us, it's not, you know? For example, if there's someone who has social anxiety, that's a disability. And it would cripple them at some point, and it would be really hard for them to navigate the regular world with that. We've got to make it really okay. It's fine. It's like having curly hair, for example. So what if you have it? You may love it, you may hate it, but it's not such a big deal, right? So that's where Shunya came from.
One of the interesting things about Shunya being essentially zero or emptiness or nothingness is, and I love this part when I was reading about it, that emptiness or nothingness or zero, when added to other numbers, can really increase the order of magnitude, right? So you add two zeros to a one, and you have 100, right? 100%.
Beautiful. Yes.
And you know, so I think the point here is, you know, let's not leave anyone behind. There's an opportunity here to bring people along and not only improve their lives, but improve our collective lives, because they have something to contribute, and they're being held back from doing that. So I think that's
imagine the amount
beautiful.
of economic growth we'll have if all of the disabled people are able to like function professionally the same way as everybody else, and they don't right now because obviously they're not able to. Yes, please.
Yeah, it's a multiplier, right? Like it's that pool is not being tapped in regards to creative work product and put it out there. That's amazing.
And I honestly don't blame anybody, because I can totally imagine it's really hard for a sighted person to kind of get into, to even consider getting into that problem statement, visual impairment. And disability is not one specific blueprint. It's very nuanced. It differs from people to people, differs from body to body, experience to experience. So I can totally imagine how a able person would find it really hard to enter that space, just mentally. I'm not talking like professionally or academically, or if they'll be able to. Of course, anybody will be able to if they put their mind to it, but it's a scary space to be. So they would rather spend their time on autonomous cars and space rockets. And why not? Because that's easier. So I don't blame anybody, but if me and Hersh don't do it, I don't see anybody else who'll have that kind of mental strength to get through this phase.
And one of the things I absolutely love is the fact that, a lot of entrepreneurs are like, hey, I have a fantastic idea. No matter what the application is, whether it's, for you, passion driven and also purpose driven, but whatever the goal is, they have, they say, all right, I have this fantastic idea. I need funding, and then I'm going to go build it, right? I'm selling you on an idea, and then you're going to help me fund it and help me develop it. And that's great. And we're all going to be partners and all that. You guys have already created.
Yep. We have the complete process.
The solution.
Yep, we have the solution. Honestly, Shunya started with the solution, actually, because for us, the problem is everyday life, right? I'm living it. Hersh chose to live with it. So, when we got married, I was already legally blind. So he chose to live with it. He studied upon it, and being a researcher by profession, he did all of his work. And it's actually, so the problem statement wasn't new to us as a couple. Or as professionals, or whatever you want to call it. But the solution was definitely new. After we had lived together for a couple of years already, I think, putting all of that time together and whatever was going on in his head, he came up with the solution first. And when I heard of that clicked in, because we've looked into a lot of assistive technology, for me, from India to US, globally, everywhere. There's not enough technology out there, or adequate. It's not even about enough. There just needs to be one good solution, right, for it to work. And there's not a single good solution out there. Either it's not affordable, or it's not enough, or it doesn't do the job, or it's too much hassle to get like a little bit part of the job done. So it's actually the solution.
I want to take a quick step back, because I would be remiss, and I'm literally sitting here and I'm feeling goosebumps about the fact that your husband loves you so much.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
He could not stop thinking about how to make your life better.
He couldn't. Every single day.
That's just remarkable. And PJ knows I talk about love a lot at this podcast and in general, because I really do think that that's a lot of times the missing ingredient to make a life more purpose-filled.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely beautiful that's where it started. Beautiful.
Thank you. I will pass on that compliment. And honestly, it's not just the big things, right? One of the listeners might think, oh, okay, he had a brilliant idea. Maybe he saw the business behind it, and that's why he pushed through it. Actually, no. Last week, he put together a tandem. He had a bicycle. He got a tandem attachment, and I have never ridden a bicycle for obvious reasons. It was a little scary, and I never did it. So he put together that whole tricycle kind of, I don't know what it's even called. Those 3 wheels bicycle.
Yeah, tricycle. That's what it is. Yeah,
that's what it's called.
That's the only bike that PJ can ride. Also, by the way.
So that extension, and I finally rode a bicycle last week, like for the first time in my life. And that's how his brain works. Like he's a very hands-on guy.
How does it feel to be that loved?
Overwhelmed. It's overwhelming sometimes when I'm really thinking about it. There's not enough I can do to give back, I'm not saying it needs to be.
I'm sure he would disagree with you vigorously.
I am sure he would have the same comment about you. right? I am sure that he would
God,
say, I can't do enough.
I'm sure actually he would feel the same way, but I think that's what makes a partnership work, right? When you both feel that way. One way wouldn't work. If we both feel that, the other person deserves it and we want to do it, that's how we make it work. And that's how we're making our relationship work. And I think we bring that kind of compassion as well as a sync into the business as well with us.
I love that.
It really works.
I want to, you gave us an incredible analogy in the pre-interview. I was blown away. I mean, your wisdom, you are the same age as my oldest daughter, and and my oldest daughter is wonderful. Just for the record,
I'm sure.
she's doing wonderful things. You blow my mind with this analogy that you gave us. You said, here's an analogy to what entrepreneurship is comparable to walking in the dark. And in that sense, all entrepreneurs share some of my experience. That's what you told us.
Yes.
Wow. First of all,
absolutely.
Can you dive a bit deeper into that analogy?
Yes, I would love
what even made
to.
you think of that, and tell us more, about what that means to you.
Okay, what made me think of that? I'll take that one first. So I think entrepreneurship is not as, of course, there are brilliant challenges over there to overcome, but the mindset that you need to kind of constantly keep overcoming something, that comes easy to me because I live that on a daily basis, right? So that's what made me think that why is this feeling challenging to, say, someone else and it's not feeling so challenging to me? That's when I realized that it's because I'm already doing it every single day. I've been doing it for over a decade now. And what that is, it's like you're walking in the dark, you're constantly aware of your surroundings. You have to be really present right now and see what you can make out of whatever you have in your radius, right? You can use your hands, you can use your legs, or whatever you have in your hand. Assistive technology would definitely help. But my point is, you don't know what's in front of you. You really don't know. As an entrepreneur, you don't know what's going to come up. Sometimes investor will turn up. Sometimes an investor will not turn up. Sometimes they would give you a fantastic review and then again not turn up or reject you later. Not anything can happen. You cannot be sure that whatever you're expecting or preparing for is going to happen right at that time, right? So it's very close to that. If you close your eyes and you practice walking around and going through your daily life, God forbid you ever needed it, but if you consciously try to practice that, once you overcome that fear of the unknown, you can be a better entrepreneur. I promise you. It's just that fear of unknown, that what's going to happen? What if this happens? I remember when I started losing my vision, and I have a lot of friends who do this fun. It's fun for all of us, visual impairment. For us, it's no big deal anymore. So we've done it a lot of times. We all blindfold ourselves and everyone's getting through some obstacles. And it's just that fear. The moment someone is over that fear, you can achieve anything. So I think it's very comparable. It's you use whatever resources you have and you get through the darkness. Do not be afraid of what wall or pole or pothole is coming your way. You'll be fine if you're ready. If you're ready in your head to overcome a challenge, I think it's going to be fine. Any entrepreneur will be fine.
Yeah, I think that's a very pointed analogy, right? I think it's very on the nose, as we would say. But I also think that for some entrepreneurs, if you're starting a business and you're still working a full-time job somewhere else, then it is somewhat like walking in the dark, right? You're
for sure.
kind of arms outstretched. You're feeling your way through it.
Yeah.
For others like myself, where we just leave everything and dive into it, it's almost like sprinting in the dark, because
oh God,
that's how I feel all the time. I'm out of breath and terrified. Right?
Yes.
So
that's that you just improved the analogy so much.
Wow,
that's so much better.
Well, he does that. PJ is an added value kind of guy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't have any inherent value myself, but just kind of leech off everyone else. It works out really well. So real quick about Shunya and the technology itself. Is it something that you wear? Is it something like it's like
it's a wearable device. we've developed a deep tech technology solution. Basically, it has from AI to software to hardware. It's a combination of multiple technologies, and it's going to be embedded into a wearable. It is a wearable, the prototype, and yeah, you wear it on your legs. It gives you haptic as well as audio feedback, whichever the user might feel. As you can imagine, sometimes we need our ears really open because, you know, if sight is not working, the ears have to work. So you might just want haptic feedback, and sometimes you might not want haptic feedback. You want to cut yourself off, and you want, okay, there's hi, can you guys see him?
Oh, there he is. Look
There
at
he
him.
is.
What a
He wants
beautiful
to
dog.
play. I can't play right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So what was I saying?
Well,
The technology, right? So the technology, it's a wearable. You put it on your legs, and you just walk. It will give you haptic feedback. There are three things it does. One is obstacle detection. Basically, if something is coming up, pothole, pole, people, cars, a wall, anything. Then there's surface identification, which is if there are stairs coming up, or there's an incline, or you're going from grass to road or a pavement or a sidewalk, it will be able to tell you that. And finally, there's navigation. So if I enter in my device, which will be the software interface, that I want to go from this point to point B, it will give you the entire safest navigation to walk to that point, take a left, take a right, and all of it can be done through haptics. Yeah.
You know, it's amazing, PJ. When I had a call with Sakshi and a couple of her colleagues, I think Hersh was one of them, and I, of course, and I heard this and I smugly said, "Oh, this is basically like you know, like what Tesla does with, you know, allowing you to see your environment." And Hersh is a very gentle guy, and what he said to me was, "That is true, but we're building a device for $200." And
Yeah.
Tesla's technology, just that part, is about $10,000.
Yeah.
So to give you a
And
sense,
they have a lot of space in the car to make
they
it
do,
work.
right?
Yeah,
a lot of
there's
space,
a lot of
a
technology.
lot more cost. It gives you
Yeah.
a sense of the technological feat that Sakshi and Hersh and their team have been able to accomplish. It's
Yep.
astonishing. It's
It
literally
is.
astonishing.
It is brilliant.
If you could actually keep it at that price point to have it
Mhm.
accessible for everyone,
Yeah.
instead of insurance companies and all these other
Oh.
things being involved, where all of a sudden your wonderful, all-inclusive, all-encompassing technology now is going to be out of reach for most people.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking.
I know, right? But keep up the good fight, Sakshi. That's
Thank you.
amazing. That is amazing. So
Thank you.
on a lighter note, amidst, you know, coming hurricanes and everything else we've been talking about,
Yeah.
you shared a few humorous incidents in your past where, like, you've dated more than your girlfriends who actually had their sight.
Yeah. Yeah. It opens up your horizons. I'm telling you, it opens up your brain. Visual impairment. You can see beyond the superficial stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's so much easier. The world is massive, and when you have these things like sight and all, it's just it's a hindrance in dating life, I tell you.
Has
Yeah.
have you noticed that other senses have been heightened for you?
No, that's actually false. That doesn't actually happen physically, but yes, you get more aware for sure. I mean, if you're walking on the street and if there's a pole, I'm not touching it, but it's somewhere close, I can sense it. But that's again, it's not a physical thing that increased senses that increased automatically. It's just I'm more aware of those other senses. So yes, it does happen. I am much better practiced with the other senses than, let's say, an average sighted person.
You know, with my luck,
I have one more question, and then PJ will finish us up. Go ahead, PJ. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if I ever had one of my senses be diminished, with my luck, my sense of taste would be increased, and then I would eat even more than I do now, which would be
Goodness.
That's yummy.
Thank you for that imagery, PJ.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate that. PJ likes to make, you know, PJ, you are a perfectly, I mean, I don't know why you keep doing that, because I don't think you should make fun of yourself when it comes to eating. You are You are a beautiful man. And I mean that, and I know you on the inside and on the outside. And I think you're genuinely beautiful. So I just want to say that.
You. I do.
It's true. I mean it. I mean
Look,
it.
I always say I'm in shape. Round is a shape. So, Sakshi,
Yes.
I have my last question, and PJ, I think we'll finish this off. But my question to you is related to something again that you wrote in your pre-interview notes. You mentioned the importance of not always thinking things one day at a time. That's a common thing that people hear. Oh, take things one day at a time. But you actually said, no, you need to envision where you want to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I got to say, first, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that talking about vision and envisioning with you, given your physical challenge and your mission, feels a little disrespectful to me. So I just want to first make sure that my using that terminology doesn't in any way, shape, or form offend. Okay. Well, that's fine.
No, it's absolutely fine. Vision goes beyond eyes. So it's
love
fine.
that. Okay. That's beautiful. Gosh, you're so wise. So tell me where you see Shunya 5 years from now. What kind of an impact? What kind of scale? What is where and let me tell you something. I'm gonna make a very bold prediction. Whatever you envision, whatever you believe, you're going to manifest. It's just it's written all over you. You will. It's written all over you. You're going to have people in your corner. You already know I'm one of them. There are going to be people that are going to manifest alongside you because you deserve it.
Thank you.
And you are exactly the kind of person that people coalesce behind. So, and that's why I'm doing it, and other people will as well. But where do you see Shunya 5 years from now?
1% of the entire market. That's where we are. We are gonna change. What's the exact number? Let me tell you. The number of units sold is.
I'm going to Shunya you, and I'm going to add a 0 to that, and I'm going to say 10%.
Really?
Yes.
I am a very safe player, to be honest. I'm not a risk taker. I may be passionate, but I'm not a risk taker. So thank you.
What kind of an entrepreneur is not a risk taker?
Yeah.
I take.
Believe me, you're a risk taker. You just don't appreciate just quite how much of one you are.
Yeah. Exactly. You might not think about, you might not be.
Maybe I don't think of those things as risks.
Exactly.
I think of them as challenges, which will come, no matter what.
The point is, I guess, even if it's 1%, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And I guess that's the point, right? But
that's where I'll be in 5 years.
You can aim higher. I also love PJ that in my discussions with her, one of her goals would be to make this technology available to impoverished people,
to
ideally
everybody.
For free.
Yeah, there are kids in India, thousands and millions of kids who don't even go to school because they don't have sight for obvious reasons. The parents don't feel comfortable that they can go to school by themselves, and the parents don't have the opportunity or the privilege to kind of pick and drop them all the time. And then how will they function inside the school, right? So a lot of kids stay out of even education, which means it's a whole vicious circle. They don't go to school, they don't get educated, they don't get a job, and then they don't have any money to afford anything else apart beyond that either. So I want to change that. I mean, visual impairment is not something that we cannot kind of mitigate to some extent with technology, so much technology in the world and such brilliant brains. So I want to change that. I want it to be extremely affordable and reach every last visually impaired child, person, adult, everybody, because otherwise it's a privilege, right? At the end of the day, otherwise it'll just remain a privilege. Excuse me. And I want it to become a right. It needs to become a right.
PJ, we were talking about, a model where much like Americans and people around the world are accustomed to donating money, $20 a month so that a child can eat, right? Sure. That type of a model where people can get behind funding this equipment in the developing world could change tens of millions, hundreds of millions of lives. And among these children who are disadvantaged and not put in a position to learn are some utterly brilliant minds. And so to me, it wouldn't even be a matter of charity. This is how we as a civilization move down the path of more inclusion and inclusion. We now know this. This is not happy talk. Inclusion leads to better outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yes.
I think that you know, that this is going to be a seminal moment. I believe once Sakshi and Hersh and their team can take this to market on scale and impact lives, it's going to be something that, you know, any of us that were involved in it will look back and say, this may well have been the highlight of my professional career, maybe my life.
Knock on wood.
And yeah, yeah, that's how I feel. I'm being completely sincere
I
about
really appreciate that.
how much I think of you and your mission and your vision.
Thank you.
Well, I've
Thank you
always said
so much.
if you could help people and live comfortably at the same time, you know,
Oh,
like you help
and
outside.
we can. I don't know why we think it's all a charity or,
Yeah,
you know, and we can. There is enough money out there to be able to do this,
I
right?
saw
Nobody has to die hungry just because we want to help someone else.
exactly. I saw statistics, you know, regarding the U.S. I saw statistics today that a bag of Cheetos, if every person in the U.S. who's working donated as much as it costs for a bag of Cheetos, homelessness in the U.S. would be taken care of for about a year.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
I mean,
There
it's
you
just
go.
like putting the numbers to scale, like how it
Yes.
works,
It's
and
all about scaling. Yes.
yeah, and it's just like small little bits from
Yeah.
everyone helps everyone, right? So,
Yeah.
lastly, one last
Yes.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
would you have a
Mm-hmm.
piece of advice for our listeners, whether they are aspiring entrepreneurs, their current business owners, or people just facing their own challenges? What
Mm-hmm.
would you say to them to help them overcome those challenges?
Well, mind over body, and don't be, it's all in your head. I'm not saying the problem is in your head. No, no, no. The problem is real. The problem is absolutely happening to you. But the solution might stem from your head. So if a lot of times, I don't want to be generic and go like, it might apply to every single person, but most of the people, if you are ready to kind of overcome it, if you've put your head to it, reach out for support. Ask other people. If you need, if it's mental health, ask for therapy. If it's physical challenges, go for assistive technology. If it's entrepreneurship, look for funds. Do what you can and then look for funds. I know if not everybody, then there will be somebody who will back you up, just like Tal is supporting us, right? So there are a lot of things that that you can do to overcome it. The outcome might not be the same. I cannot tell you that the outcome will be exactly that you envisioned, but it will be something, and maybe it'll even be better. You don't know that, right? So don't stop fighting is all I would ask. And that's one thing. Do not stop fighting. There is a solution. The world is massive. There are billions of people out there. There has to be a solution, right? There's no problem without a solution. So don't stop fighting and overcome the fears. If you can overcome the fears, the only way through fear is through the fear. Like you have to get through it, experience it, process it, and get to the other side. I think that would do it. In
You know,
most cases,
my favorite TV show is Ted
Mhm.
Lasso. I don't know if anybody.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
If you
I
haven't seen
binged
Ted
the whole
Lasso,
thing.
you must see Ted Lasso. Probably
Yeah,
one of the most brilliant. It was miscast
absolutely.
initially as a comedy, and it is very funny,
Yes.
but it is well beyond that. It is actually, you know, one of the most
Yeah,
incredible example of leadership and humanity
absolutely.
that I've ever seen. And there's a scene in season 2
Mhm.
where Ted and his team get relegated. If you're not, I'm a big soccer fan, so if you don't know what
Ah,
relegation is, because it's not kind of an American thing. Relegation isn't, if you play in certain leagues in Europe,
mhm.
certain teams at the end of the season, the ones that finish in the last 3 or 4 places, get relegated to a lower league, and teams from a higher league get elevated up. And it's a
Mhm.
tragedy for the fans. You know,
Mhm.
put it in perspective, tragedy being subjective,
Mhm.
and often for the players and the club, the owners, the coach. And there's a scene where Ted's team has just been relegated, and they're all very demoralized. They're sitting around, and Ted tells them a story. He called it Rom communism. He was going to tell them about Rom communism, and I actually have this speech taped to my monitor. It's not very long, so I'm going to read it
Wow.
to you.
Yeah.
It says it's the Rom Communism speech. It's season 2, episode 5. For those of you that are interested, he said this: if all those attractive people can go through some lighthearted struggle and still end up happy, then so can we. Gentlemen, believing in Rom Communism is all about believing that everything's going to work out in the end. Now, in these next few months, they might be tricky, but that's just because we're going through our dark forest. Fairy tales do not start, nor do they end, in the dark forest. That's something that only shows up smack dab in the middle of a story, but it will all work out. Now, it may not work out how you think it will or how you hope it does, but believe me, it will all work out exactly as it's supposed to. Our job is to have zero expectations and just let go.
Yes.
Probably
That's
the
what Father
greatest
always says.
scene.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've looked at that speech. It's taped to my monitor for a reason, because
Beautiful.
entrepreneurship and life, there are so many moments where you're in the dark forest, and if you forget that if you're in the dark forest, it's not the end. That's what that means.
Yes,
that's what it means.
Exactly.
And you're the embodiment of that, Sakshi.
No, thank you. I think that's a great advice to add. Watch Ted Lasso for any entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And it's not just
or leader.
Like, there are parts of, it's all about leadership and how you bring a team together, how you bring them in the same headspace. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to again end by, similarly to where we started. You and Hersh and your team are raising money. I've already committed to being a part of investing in the business and helping you succeed. I'm calling on others who are listening, who are inspired by Sakshi, to reach out to us at bravingbusiness.com. I'd be honored to connect you to this incredible young woman and her equally incredible husband. I could not be more grateful to you. This episode, and PJ and I have now recorded, I think, a dozen out of the first 22 season 1 episodes. This has been my favorite episode. And you're my favorite guest. And I say that with nothing but respect and admiration and love for the wonderful guests we've had so far.
Of course.
But this is special. This is a special moment. I'm so honored to have you here. I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember this opportunity to talk to you. I hope to be able to go back and listen to this interview in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years when the world knows who you are. Everyone knows who you are, and has a more appreciation for what a beautiful person you are, and how much you're going to impact lives.
Thank you.
It's most inspiring conversation I've had in a really long time.
No, it's
PJ, that's not to say you're not inspiring, but it's
thank you. I was going to say
order of magnitude. What can I say?
No, absolutely. Well, first of all, my wife is a rom-com author, and she's
a darn good one, as a matter of fact. Why don't we plug her a little bit, PJ? We don't give your wife enough credit.
Well, trust me.
She has written some phenomenal books. Her first book was turned into a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
On a movie on Lifetime.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of fun. We actually went to the there's a not to get off subject, but there's a writers conference in LA called the Steamy.
Does she write by Kara Lockwood? I know
she wrote by Kara Lockwood, and now she's writing by Kara Tanamachi, which is her maiden name. Writing
right.
Okay.
Her maiden name, right? Because she's writing about mixed Asian race people, right? So we were just at the Steamy LitCon down in California, which was fantastic. 1,200 people there, but I got to tell them, they're like, oh, we love your books, and sometimes they're steamy, sometimes they're not, like they're always funny and all this. And I said, well, my favorite thing to say is, whenever you get to the sexy parts, think of me. And then that's where we watch all the book sales just plummet.
I love you, man. You're an awesome human being.
Yes, you are.
I love you guys too. But so first of all, I wanted to say, Rom Communism, my wife's all about it. The second thing I want to say is, hey babe, we're going to invest in a company.
Thank you. You guys are the best. We are looking for angels. So listeners, any of you, any of people anybody interested in investing in a future billion-dollar company, please do reach out. We would love to hear from you.
You'll be fine. Your funding will not be an issue.
Thank Thank you.
All right, Sakshi, thank you.
Thank you so
Continued
much.
success. You and I, of course, will be talking offline, and
course.
it's been a great episode. PJ, do you want to close it? Do you have anything wise to close
Hey,
with?
I
Or
have a
have we
funny
already, have you
story.
already
I didn't get
oh,
to
you have a
tell.
funny story.
Go
Tell us the
ahead.
funny story, please.
Yeah.
You had so many
So-
funny stories. You know, most guests, when we ask them for
Yes.
something humorous, they give us like something not so humorous. She gave us 10 things, 10 funny stories from an inmate that she's been a pen pal of for like 10 years or 15
Yeah.
years, to tripping over dogs, to your
Yeah.
sister spying on you and Hersh. I mean, you are like a
Yeah.
fountain of funny stories.
We
So
love
sure,
it.
finish us off with a funny story.
Okay. So I'm in
Yeah.
a mall, okay, in India, one of the bigger cities, Bangalore. So I'm in a shopping mall. I'm in the washroom and I step out of the cabin and I'm like, okay, I gotta wash my hands. I wash my hands. And then I'm looking for the tissue dispenser. I am not able to find it for obvious reasons. So I'm trying to find some human being around me who I can ask. So I see a female on my left. So I think it's like she's like an attendant or something. So I ask her, so, hi, can you help me? I'm looking for a tissue dispenser. Can you point me towards it? So she's just smiling at me. Okay, she's just smiling. So I'm like, okay, that I usually have that effect. People get confused. Okay, she looks fine. Why is she asking us for help? Okay, I give her like a second or two, and then I ask again. And I still don't get a response. She's still smiling at me, and I'm starting to get annoyed. Third attempt, I realize I'm talking to myself in the mirror for a good 5-10 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, that happens all the time. I love telling my stories. That's awesome.
Unbelievable. Well, PJ, we will never end an episode on a better note than that.
No, I dare say not.
All right, guys.
That was
Thank you so
amazing.
much for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
All right.